Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10-minute Bible lesson. We thank you for joining us today. We're still looking at lessons, and we're going to be for some time, the lessons about the life of Jacob. Now, Jacob and Esau, they were twins, and now they're adults. And their father, Isaac, is an old man. And not only is he old, but he's blind. And so he thinks that he's, doesn't have a whole long time to live. So what he does, because he's grown old, he's called Esau, or his oldest son, to come to him, and he's going to do this. So let's go ahead and read in Genesis 27, verses 2, 3, and 4. Then he said, "Behold, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now, therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." So that's what Isaac was wanting to do. He knew he was old, and he knew that he loved his son Esau, and he wanted to bestow what you might call the patriarchal blessing upon his oldest son. Well, they were twins, but Esau came out first, so he was the oldest. Now, what exactly is this blessing? I'd like to be able to tell you and give you a really good definition of it, but honestly, I'm just not sure. It's just a little strange to me that I just don't quite grasp it. It seems like to me that during this culture and during this time, especially with Abraham, that they somehow were able to pass down a blessing, or the father could pass down a blessing upon the son. And it seems like he had that power. Now, don't ask me to explain all that because I don't know. But if you read about the blessing, you'll see that it had to do with prosperity, and it had to do with protection. And so it was something that was really coveted. Now, I'm wondering if it didn't have something to do with the blessing that God bestowed upon Abraham. Because he said, "I'm going to bless you and your descendants, and I'll bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you." And I'm wondering if this was something to do with that. I don't know for sure, but that Abraham passed it down to Isaac, and now Isaac's going to pass it on down, and he's going to try to pass it on down to Esau. So here's what happened. He told him to go out into the field and get some game. But his mother, that is Rebekah, overheard what was about to happen. And so she told Jacob, and she wanted the blessing to be bestowed upon him. Now, she favored Jacob, it's true, but God had spoke to Rebekah and said that the older will serve the younger. And whether this had something to do with it or not, I'm not sure. So she told Jacob, "You go out into the herd and get 2 kid goats, bring them to me, and I'll fix that savory dish for your dad." And anyway, he says, I'll fix it for it. And so that's what you can do. When I do it, then you can take it. Because remember, Isaac's old and he's blind. Then you can take it into your father and you get the blessing. Well, let's see what the scripture says in verses 10 and 11 in Genesis 27. Then it goes on, it says, "Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death." And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "Look, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth skin." So Jacob is talking to his mother, and he said, "Listen, we're not alike at all." said, but one thing, he's a man of the field. He's a hunter. I'm not. I dwell in tents. Not only that, but he's a hairy guy, and I'm not. I'm a smooth-skinned person. And so let's go ahead and read verse 12 in Genesis 27. Here's what Jacob says. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. So I'm thinking that Jacob, he's thinking about this. This is a risky affair. This thing may backfire on me. And he's telling his mother that, but his mother was insistent. And she said this to him. She said, let your curse be upon me, my son. So Jacob, he put on his brother's clothes. He took the skins from the kids' goats, the skins from the goats, put them on his arms and his hand and his neck, and he went into his father. And let's go ahead and read and see what happens in verses 18 and 19 of Genesis 27. So he went to his father and said, my father? And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau. I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you have told me. Please arise, sit and eat my game, that your soul may bless me. Now listen, Isaac was skeptical. He was really hesitant. And he was wondering how did he get this game so quickly? And he asked him about it. He says, how is it that you got this so fast? And you know what Jacob said? He said, the Lord blessed me. he said, the Lord brought it to me. But he was still not convinced. His dad was still not convinced because he asked him to come near so that he could feel him. So he would feel him. And because he said, you know what? Your voice sounds like Jacob. But as he felt him, he says, but your skin feels like Esau. So he's still wondering. So he calls him in even closer and he kisses him. And when he kisses him, he reaches up and he smells of him. And he could smell that the smell of the field was upon him. And that convinced him that it was Esau. So what did he do? He gave the firstborn blessing to Jacob instead. Now, Jacob had barely left his father, scarcely left his father, and then guess what happened? Well, let's read about it in verse 31, Genesis 27. This is talking about Esau. He also made savory food and brought it to his father and said to his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that your soul may bless me. Listen, I believe there's about to be trouble in the tents of Isaac. What do you think? Well, let's go on and read the last two verses, and that's verses 32 and 33 of Genesis 27. And his father, Isaac, said to him, who are you? And so he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, who? Where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate all of it before you came. And I have blessed him. And indeed, he shall be blessed. Oh, my lands. This was absolutely devastating news to Esau. He despised his birthright, but he coveted that blessing because it contained stuff that he really, really needed and wanted. In fact, the scripture says this. It says that he cried with an exceeding great and bitter cry. And he said to his father, bless me also, oh my father. Well, we're going to have to wait until next time to see what happened to Esau and what happened to Jacob. and that'll be next time. So we hope that you'll tune in and join us then and find out. Listen, hope you have a great week, and thank you for joining us today.